Yo, yo, what the fuck is good? This is What Did We Just Fucking Watch? You Can't Fucking Fight. It's your boy, fucking Evan.
It's Pota.
What up, it's Bobby. Y'all can't fight.
You can't fucking fight. Yo, we're back again with another goddamn movie to fucking rip. And this movie in particular is close to my fucking heart.
We went way back with this one.
Grew up with this fucking movie, and it is Three Ninjas. It's the first one, the OG. Fucking 1992 classic. I want to say this movie why I fucking started going to karate. My fucking first cat named it Rocky because of the main guy, because of this fucking movie. And I think this movie is fucking steez, so it was nice to go back and fucking rip on it. Like it
was awesome. It was a great flashback, reminding me of my childhood. And then it's one of those movies. It's like you watch it now and understand why you liked it as a child, but can't understand how anybody would pay for making a movie of this. I guess it was worth it for all the kids to watch it.
It had a $6 million budget.
$6 million?
Yeah.
See, I don't know what that was in comparison to those days. Like,
I mean,
was that average for shitty movies?
What would that be now, like for a movie?
Like, there have been awesome movies made on terrible budgets.
Yeah.
Like,
but so you had history of this movie though? You watched it back in the day?
oh, for sure, dude.
Okay,
for sure.
okay. Well,
For sure.
because I know Bobby said he didn't.
Yeah,
Rocky was my favorite
I
character.
remember ever watching it. I might have watched it back in the day when I was little. And just
You don't even remember?
Nah.
Damn, dude, this is one of those ones with the VHS I would go to sleep to. Like I'd know this movie front to
I
fucking
would wait for
back.
the sequels to come out.
Yeah, they were the. I loved it. Like we're gonna have to do those eventually. They're the shit
For sure.
So
like, I had a video store next to my old house. It was called Video Connection.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally just this mom and pop video store. They had a little porn in the back. You could see it through the little curtain. It was funny. But every weekend we would go there and always look for Jackie Chan movies and stuff like that. And we found this one. It's kids with fucking ninjas. It was awesome.
it's also like, but yeah, definitely so much to rip on it. Like it's just a classic kids movie where it's corny, very like this idealistic, world and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like just super corny. So we should just go and get straight into it because I'm just so excited to fucking rip this because there's so many things I've waited like 20 years to get onto some. You know what I mean? Just to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
So now we can fucking vent about it. So all right. Well, let's give it a little synopsis then, real quick. You wanna run down that synopsis?
All right, well, essentially these three young siblings, going by the name of Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum, arrive at their summer stay in their ninjutsu master grandpa, played by Victor Wong. I know I've seen him in other stuff, but I don't remember what. Essentially passed down his knowledge to his grandchildren. Then a criminal comes by the name of Snyder, a rogue ex-student of Grandpa's who kidnaps the boys as a part of a scheme to get the FBI, their FBI agent dad, who has been investigating them for a very long time, to essentially, get him off his back.
Capture.
Yeah, it's a blackmail. Not blackmail, we'll do it, hostage negotiation.
What did you read? Oh fuck! You're reading the fucking synopsis.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
What does it
That's
say?
all it says. But Snyder doesn't know how skilled these abductees are.
All right, yeah.
He doesn't say anything on why he's abducting them.
What? It's because he's trying to.
In the synopsis, it doesn't
Oh,
say
okay. All right. Well, yeah, but yeah, basically, kids are getting kidnapped. They fucking run. It's a Home Alone with fucking karate.
Yeah.
All right, so it opens up with the kids narrating a little bit. They're going back and forth. They're getting introduced to them, and it's basically starting off where they're at their grandpa's for the summer, and he training them in karate. And right now they're waking up, or they're sleeping right now, and their grandpa comes and he wakes them up in the morning with different ninja tests. And this morning, he chooses to get a piece of wheat and like rub their noses with it, and they like wake up and they like catch it really quick.
No, they're catching it before he touched them. Like he's.
Oh yeah, they sensed it. Yeah. He's like sensing
Their
it.
ninja senses were tingling.
Yeah.
Like what the? You were sleeping, motherfucker.
And he just standing over him smiling like
Yeah.
big super creep, just like.
And then Tum Tum's okay. That's when you get introduced to Tum Tum, who his main character trait is that he eats food and he always
Constantly.
has fucking food
Hanging out his mouth.
Yeah, so Grandpa tries to fucking wake him up, but he doesn't have any senses. But if the Grandpa goes and tries to steal his jelly beans, of course he senses it. He wakes up real quick. Oh, fucking Tum Tum.
Don't touch Tum Tum's jelly beans.
He's
Don't
literally
do
like
that.
tickling his nose. Yeah, he grabs his bag of jelly beans and he just fucking snatches it up.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
hilarious.
yeah, they wake up. And these are just the classic three brothers. They fight. They're, you know what I mean, like those classic brotherly love kind of shits, right? And so it begins with them in like a fucking training montage. It's them doing some montage of karate stuff, and there are so many ayahs. This is the first of so many fucking ayahs in this movie.
I wish I kept count.
Oh my god, I wish there was an ayah count.
Yeah.
Should have made an IR count.
We should watch back and just count. Just
Wait.
look counting.
We'll do if we do the sequel. We'll bring it back. Yeah.
So yeah,
So bad.
so in this part, yeah, so they're training, and some of the training is fucking they're pulling their grandpa on a sled while he reads a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of them is fucking twisting. There's like twirling fucking nunchucks in the air, and while his grandpa throws tennis balls at him. Then he has fucking Rocky walking across a fucking. Like across a high fall on a piece of wood, carrying buckets, and if he falls on fucking rocks, so they're just this is their fucking training methods.
Yeah, there's like trees in the way he had to get around him. Like he almost falls because he hits the fucking tree because he puts obstacles in the way on this like sketchy ass thing.
So it's just a training montage. The fat kid, Tum Tum, has Twizzler in his mouth the entire time.
Yeah. Gets me that. When he knocks his grandpa off the log and he flies down like it's like a huge fall.
I know.
He flies
it's not
down.
even come yet, but yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming right here.
He knocks his grandpa off this huge
and
log.
then the next scene it cuts straight to, and he's just
sitting on the floor smiling, laughing.
It was like a 15-foot drop on a rock.
He just got kicked off, like flew to your side.
Face.
He's just chilling there.
And
he's
then
ninja.
It's like and then during this montage, it's all them in their white gis, and you can see their face. And then it cuts to one clip, and they're all in the black outfits with their faces covered. And in that scene, they're doing flips and stuff because of course it's the stunt doubles. Yeah, it's like. Oh my god, shit.
Oh, man.
So now the grandpa pulls up in his car. So start that, and then they go to battle.
Oh, yeah, so they do a fucking... Yeah, they're all hiding out, and you see a car pulling up, and it's the grandpa pulls up, and the kids all jump out of the trees, fucking landing on the car, start fighting him in the whip.
They say "Aya" every
move.
Aya.
Every move.
They turn "Aya."
They wipe their ass. Aya!
He takes a step back, "Aya, aya, 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 aya," like the whole time. Any movement they do, everyone's screaming "Aya."
So they're fighting. They jump from trees. They're getting in. Grandpa's like being elusive, and then Grandpa's on the floor, and then one of them throws ninja stars at their grandpa.
And he misses.
He throws
Luckily, the grandpa
he throws like
beats
3
it.
ninja
He's
stars
like,
at the fucking.
He fucking dodges them, and they go like into a tree. It's like you just try to murder your
you
grandpa.
Ninja stars at your
What if that
fucking
connected
grandpa?
with his face?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Though it didn't murder Grandpa, and Grandpa somehow Jedi jumped fucking 20 feet in the
Yeah, so
air.
he does he throws like a smoke bomb, and the next thing you know,
where did he go? He just he Batmaned it. He just disappeared. I believe Grandpa is actually Batman. I think this is a Batman movie.
Prequel?
No, prequel. No.
Whatever the fuck it is.
This is way off in the future. Batman's old as shit and apparently Asian.
Yeah, but yeah, so he throws a smoke bomb and then he just appears 100 feet up in a fucking tree. Like
he's just laughing and they look up and he's sitting on a branch.
He's 60.
65 years old.
65-year-old man.
65. Jumping up 20 feet in the air.
Doesn't make any sense.
And he starts talking about what does he say? He's like,
he goes,
he's like, don't climb a tree with thorns, or don't sit in a tree with
what's
thorns.
another rule of the ninja?
Oh, the two rules.
That.
I forgot the first one was.
The first rule was
don't get in a fight you can't win.
Yeah. And he's like,
second rule.
What's the second rule? Don't sit in a tree with thorns.
Oh, they think it's the funniest thing ever.
Like,
they start cracking up. Yeah. They start laughing their asses off.
He's been sitting there for 10 minutes. He jumped up there.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
He hasn't made a noise the whole time until he tells them, hey, this tree
doesn't
has
make
thorns.
He does this again later on. All right, so then it cuts, and then this day's special. It's the last day they're there, and their grandpa's giving them. It's the day of names, so he's gonna give them like new names, like ninja names, and then like their masks and stuff like that. And they have different colors. Rocky's green, Colt's is blue, Tum Tum is yellow. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Rocky's name is Samuel. And then Colt's name is Jeff. Dude, I started laughing so fucking hard.
Tum Tum's name is Mike.
Is it bullshit?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're the best names ever.
Why would they change them? Why would they change them?
Oh my
Destiny.
God. Dog, that's fucking crazy.
Mike Samuel.
Dude, that's all I knew. Dude, it's a sign. That's why this movie's been so fucking awesome.
That's like subliminal in our mind this
head,
whole time.
The same names.
Why those names were so significant.
Every night.
It's insane.
So Samuel.
Okay, right now it cuts, and now we get introduced to his dad. Right, all right. So it cuts, and then there's like a limo driver coming in
into a warehouse,
and we meet Snyder. Yeah, they're going into a warehouse, and they meet Snyder, and they're doing a deal.
They're doing a deal. Essentially, you see Snyder standing there with a henchman and a crate, and the limo comes and pulls in. Their FBI father is posed as the limo driver. He parks inside the warehouse, gets out the car, lets the dude in the back out, and he comes out trying to look like some Saudi Arabian dude, but it kind of just looked like he got some really nice napkin and put on his head.
And he got a mustache from Party City.
Yeah, a mustache from Party Shitty. And they come up, he shows the briefcase full of money, and he doesn't even check the briefcase at all. Like, he just looks at it, all good. Where you later find out.
That's what I wanted to say.
Well, you later find out there's like 2 bills and just
The top
wads of
ones
pieces
are-
of paper
yeah.
underneath. But yes, like Bobby was about to say, his way to open the crate to show the goods was he had to summon his chi and fucking super elbow down and just crush the thing. Oh, he made the noise too. I guess all ninjas make the noises.
And inside
It's
there's
fucking
like
crazy.
fucking rockets and like explosives in there that could have fucking why he's elbowing crates open.
Yeah,
Like,
you think he's about to break brick, but no, he just broke a piece of 1 inch, like a 1/4 inch thick plywood.
Like, it's fucking hilarious. Just in case you didn't know
and then
this guy
pulls
was
out
a
a bomb,
ninja.
pulls out multiple bombs. There's bombs in there just chilling.
Right, and then he gives it to him, and then the FBI essentially they
It's a
reveal
sting
themselves.
operation. Yeah.
Right.
Nice
Sting
doing
oper-
business with you.
Yeah.
And he puts his hands up. He's just like,
And then okay, so
I'm
okay,
glad you
hold on.
dro-
Yeah, I was
okay,
gonna,
yeah,
all right, so then so it's they got him. It's like free Snyder, we got you surrounded. And then in classic bad guy fashion, Snyder looks at him, smiles, and goes, "Huh, how nice of you to drop in. Cue ninjas, cue ropes. They fucking come from this fucking
Ninja
roofs.
Army.
They just come down.
Got 40 ninjas just come flying down from the ceiling with ropes. And, just fucking
And start
jump
beating
in.
their asses with one hand with a sword and the other hand free. But
Because
everybody else has
grabs a
guns,
hostage.
but
He
they
grabs a
can't.
hostage.
Yes, he knocks out the fake Saudi Arabian guy with one hit,
Yeah.
and then he's knocked out for hours. So he grabs him because he's attached to the
Briefcase.
suitcase. So he brings him. He realizes it's fake money. Fuck, he's on the run. The dad corners him on the roof, and then another classic bad boy move. He's staring off the building. He has nowhere to go. The dad turns around and he's like, "I'm sorry, but it's time for me to fly." And then a Q helicopter that comes, woo, perfectly just comes up
You
off
can hear it or see it sitting
Yeah.
there hovering right below the roof of the building.
Oh no, he
So-
goes.
so
he
hold
says
on.
this. He
Was-
says he corners him on the roof, and Strider goes, "Sorry, wish I could stay and chat, but I gotta fly." And then the helicopter just fucking comes up from
Out of nowhere.
out of
Didn't
nowhere.
hear it, nothing.
Didn't
You know,
hear it.
it-
It just pops up.
So was the pilot waiting on a cue or something? He's just gonna be hanging out,
I know.
hovering. He's like, "Hold on, let me see his
He didn't
hand
say
pop
it
up.
yet. He didn't say it yet.
Wait,
Let it fly."
for it.
Okay, let's raise up.
Fucking flying up.
So Strider gets away. The dad's
Snyder.
pissed. Snyder, I know I wrote Strider for the 3/4. But so he gets away,
Strider.
and it's funny. The FBI's partner comes. He's like, "Yo, we got guns. We got guns. We got drugs.
I wanted Snyder.
Yeah, I wanted Snyder. We got nothing. He's everything." And I don't know why. I just thought that part was fucking funny. Like, okay.
Oh yeah. So also, I was gonna say, they're getting away in a chopper. Does the FBI not have a chopper in their budget to
I
go
know
and fucking follow
They
them?
just let them go. That gets into my next point because the next thing, they just let him go away, and then the next scene is they just cut. Then it cuts, and then he just goes back to his office, and they're back at his office,
Yeah,
and he's just like hanging out, and then it's like it's normal.
I had
And
that
then-
written down here
Yeah.
somewhere later
It's-
on.
Me too. Later, I know that's why I didn't want to say it. Now I forgot it was later on. All right, let's just keep going then. But yeah, the helicopter or whatever. Yeah, he just goes off, and the cops just stop fucking chasing him. The next scene is it cuts to the henchman. Oh no, it cuts to Strider in his office when we meet his assistant. His assistant's sitting in his chair on the phone. And did you notice how bad the lighting was in this movie? I mean, in this scene.
No.
I couldn't tell.
What the light from the windows looked blurry, like as if. Like, you know, if like you get water in your eyes and it's all like washed out, it's so shitty. Look, how did you not fucking notice?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice.
And then at this point we find out that Strider and
Stryker.
Snyder.
Snyder.
Look, as I wrote Strider in here. But we realize that Snyder and Grandpa know each other because now he's like, this FBI guy's on my case. Let's get to Grandpa in order to get to his son-in-law because the Grandpa's his son-in-law. So that's how they all know each other. So that's when we learn this. Then it cuts to the Grandpa's house and they're all cooking dinner ninja
Kids
style.
are fucking throwing shit everywhere, kicking plates across the room.
Tum Tum throws the food, I believe, at Grandpa intentionally. You
yeah.
saw that?
Yeah, I was gonna
He
say
slings
He's like tossing the food
He's
everywhere.
slinging
and
like fucking
Oh,
green
what the
bean
fuck is
casserole
off
around.
to the left that he's got to throw the food
So hold
at?
on, first go give him context first. Give me
Yeah, they're
context
just in there
first.
making this food. They're like whipping shit up. And
They're all cooking dinner.
They're cooking dinner. One's at the table, the other one's in the
But
kitchen.
karate style
Yeah.
dinner.
They're throwing fucking plates and like cups across the room and kicking them, and the other ones are catching them and setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're making the food, and then Tum Tum just starts fucking catapulting fucking green bean casserole across the house with a fucking spatula.
Rocky's
Rocky's catching them on
like
plates.
a bunch of them.
Yeah, he's catching platefuls of them. It's going all over the place. Next thing you know, he just stuck. I don't even know what he does. He just shanks it right and
He's
slings
throwing-
it at his grandpa. No one literally just takes his grandpa's head off with this.
Yeah,
He
fucking
throws
stick.
four in the right perfect direction on this one direction, like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then all of a sudden he chooses to throw it backwards.
Yeah,
this
out of
one,
nowhere, the
and it
last
hits
one.
Grandpa in the face.
Yeah,
Like,
Rocky's
Grandpa
at like
dinks it.
2 o'clock and he throws to like fucking 7 o'clock.
Yes, out of nowhere, and like it was like, what did you forget? What you needed to throw? The fuck?
Jeez. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, ninja. I just called it ninja dinner. They're just fucking kicking shit and fucking launching it, doing flips.
Okay, yeah. So now it cuts to them eating dinner. And they're talking about ninja stuff, and I'm about to get to the part where then they get interrupted because the grandpa has this awesome alarm system where it's like motion censored and it's like a mask that the eyes blink if someone's coming. So Strider, he pulls up, right? So they go outside to see what's up. They see his limo pull up, and then immediately ninjas start coming out and flipping up all over the car.
Nice ninja entry.
They just come out of nowhere and just start running all the way, ready to fight.
See, I just imagine Snyder in the car. He'd be like, "Okay, guys, just like we choreographed. 1, 2, 3, go!" And they just kind of go out and do their little stunt. Yeah. But I just noticed when the kids got their a little Easter egg. When the kids got their masks, remember that part? And he was showing off that first one, the red one. That was Snyder's.
Oh yeah.
Remember at the end he had the red gi on?
Yeah, it is.
That was Snyder's mask.
He was talking about the red one.
That's pretty.
He's like, oh,
that's pretty cool, right?
Oh.
I just thought of that right now.
Huh, that's sick.
That's a really cool Easter egg.
Yeah. All right, so these ninjas come and flip out.
Nice ninja entry, yeah.
And they're straight attack mode. So Grandpa starts fighting him, and no talk at all. So, okay, it's just fight. So then Grandpa starts fighting ninjas, and then the kids start fighting ninjas. And these ninjas are trying to stab these little kids. They have swords, and they're swinging them, trying to murder this grandpa and murder these children.
There's an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
But these kids are whooping the shit out of these fucking ninjas. Like they got shit.
Nothing on these kids.
They're the dumbest ninjas ever. And then all this
belong
time
in the UFC.
And then all this time, Strider is just off in the corner, like laughing, like he's like ha ha ha, just watching them. It's like, well, couldn't you talk first? Like, what the fuck?
I like watching the guys I pay get their butt kicked by children.
Like children, it's like, did you know there was children there? Was that part of
Stop following me or some shit? No, instantly it's like murder everybody.
Yeah,
like, go in there, murder these children.
I know.
Go in there, stab them with this fucking samurai sword.
Murder everyone, but boss, there's kids.
I was getting some. That scene was so bad. They're fighting and like the swords are so wobbly in that fucking scene. Jesus. The whole movie, but that scene was really bad because there's a lot of sword fighting.
Terrible.
And then after this, Strider just walks up and starts talking to Grandpa, and then Snyder fucking walks up, and him and Grandpa start talking, and immediately everybody just like shoos off the kids, and they just forget that all these ninjas tried to murder these children. And like they're just talking. It's like these.
Okay, let's get down to business.
Yeah, it's like,
how about we talk now?
Now this is how ninjas meet. You got to have a fight first, and then we do business.
You got to kill half the people.
And okay, so him and Grandpa.
At least attempts.
Yeah. So they talk. He's trying to get him off. He's trying to get the FBI off his back. Trying to have Grandpa come and teach him all this shit. He's just really fucking with him, to be honest. And then, so he pieces it. And then when he goes to whistle to get the ninjas to come back, it's the fakest whistle ever. Did you notice?
Yeah.
If you can tell, he put it in post.
He puts his fingers up to his lips,
like an inch away,
as if he's gonna whistle, blows as if he whistled, and then the sound comes.
Dog, it's so bad. It's like
a 1, 2, 3 type of synchronization thing. It was terrible.
You didn't fucking notice that? Oh my! I rewound it a couple of times. I started laughing my small off.
It didn't even sound like it belonged in the movie.
It didn't, dog. Like his hand is like it's so far from his face. Put it in your do that and what the fuck?
What's the point of putting your hand right here?
So then after that, Strider leaves, and then fucking Grandpa is so pissed at the kids for fighting, and it's like. These people are trying to murder you, Grandpa.
Did I say I needed your help?
Yeah, it's like, what you want to
What happened with the other 8 ones that we just whooped? What would they have done? You would have been dead.
Did you not see this? It's fucking. He's fucking pissed.
What? I'm 65, and you don't think I could take 5, 6 people by myself?
It was like Forrest Whitaker. He looks at the kids and is like, "I teach ninja, not murder."
Oh yeah. Oh my god. All right. Next thing. All right, so the next scene, the grandpa comes and he pulls out this human-sized dummy where if you hit it in certain points, the eyes light up, which is to mean like a good hit, on a normal human. And the whole time I'm thinking is, when did he make this? Like they've been there the whole summer training them. When do you have time to make a fucking dummy?
How many summers have they been there? Now you bring it out just now.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on this thing?
And then
maybe he already had it and he wasn't ready to bring it out. Be like, I don't want to give him the big guns.
Oh yeah, because maybe it's time because they almost got murdered.
That was the level up training. They leveled up. They're now level 80.
They whoop grown men and they're underage
and they're black belts.
They're more than black belts.
6-year-old black belt.
Yeah,
he's been kicking since the womb.
Yeah,
he kicked his way out of the womb. I think that's
scissor kicked out.
He needed a C-section, but he didn't. He just kicked it out. Yeah. But okay, so he shows him this, and he's pointing at this one spot, and if you kick it in the spot, then these lights go off, and then he tells Rocky to kick it, and Rocky kicks it, and then he literally goes a half of inch above, tells Rocky to kick it. He kicks in half an inch higher and no lights. And I'm thinking, how precise can this your foot, first off, is at least like 4 inches wide. Like, how could he
and everything.
I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
This is the most advanced technology ever. And this grandpa's got it in a cabin out in the woods.
It's like, what? A half an inch difference wouldn't make you be the same in your foot with your foot hitting it. And I'm like,
the pressure
would
still be the same right next
Did you
to
notice that?
Yeah, like it's like multiple shots. Like, you hit here, but anywhere else you hit it, it doesn't go off. But yeah, right next to it, it's fucking crazy.
Okay, and then so Grandpa leaves and they practice and they start talking to each other like Snyder and Grandpa were old friends. They just convinced themselves that was a big joke and that they're actually friends, that these guys didn't come murder them. Instantly convinced, right?
They saw a picture.
He tried to slap him. He tried to slap him, and Snyder caught his hand and squeezed it.
Like, they didn't... But it's like, how could you read that situation wrong?
He brought 30 ninjas to murder you guys. That next day, after you kick a little dummy around a little bit, and you're like...
They must have been best friends.
They must have been best friends.
They literally go verbatim. You saw them messing around with Grandpa yesterday. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
They must be cool. It's a normal thing.
Maybe that's where Scary Movie 3 got that, where they just kicked the people in the balls how to say hi. It's like a random thing.
Why the fuck would they get that from this?
It's random.
Oh my god, no.
I think
it's just literally just random then.
Yeah,
it's from this movie.
All right, so they're convinced that they were just messing around. So then it cuts, and now these kids are heading back to the suburbs, and we meet the mom and we meet the dad. And the first thing I noticed is this mom is not one bit Asian.
I know.
Not one bit Asian.
I guess I had to accept my Asian side or something.
The grandmother was white.
So what? She literally has no like,
that's
not
dad?
one bit.
That's
his dad is straight.
He's full Japanese, like,
yeah.
like that.
It looks like he just moved here yesterday.
For real.
Like, what the fuck?
And she's like, oh, my Asian side. It's like, you're a fucking white.
No,
your eyes don't look Asian at all.
She looks Spanish, if anything.
Maybe. Jesus. And then so we meet her, and she's a nice, good mom, and we learn that the dad's the dick, like he workaholic. You know what I mean? He's not a big fan of the karate teaching and all this shit. So we learn this. And we also meet Emily, Rocky's fucking crush.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
God, he's got zero game.
She's got
but this is what I don't get, right? They meet there and they're really awkward and it's all weird. But they have fucking cans that can talk to each other in their rooms. So they obviously must be on a close relationship.
Yeah, right next door, and they sit there and talk to each other through the window at the little.
But
cans.
It's like they meet like they've never met before.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
hey, Emily, how's it going?
And they waited I'll talk to you later on my can.
Get home. We'll hide you on the can. The cans that we both installed together in our rooms across the fucking
I know they had to install them together. And mind you,
there's no string connected to it. It's just a can on a fucking light.
Who thought of this?
Thing.
How does that work? What is the science?
It looked pretty legit.
I guess the grandpa must have made wireless
also
before.
A ninja.
He made wireless
like they were walking around like a Walmart and they saw, oh look, little fucking can wire thing. You get two. Yeah, you get a pair. One's blue, one's pink. Hey.
Grandpa with his secret technology and his fucking sensors, he can fucking.
That was a badass room. I remember that when I was a kid, I wanted that fucking trampoline so bad in my bedroom.
But we'll talk to when we get there. So we meet them and then now it cuts to. You got something to say about that?
That's funny as fuck. They're talking about Tum Tum or whatever. And like, why is his name Tum Tum? Like, oh, he eats everything and all this shit. He's like, I won't eat everything. I won't eat dog poop. Yeah. And he just gets up. It's just so funny. He's like, fucking the kid the whole time just had fucking shit hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Always eating something, Twizzlers or some shit. And the trampoline when the kid fucking.
Yeah. All right, so now it's back to Strider, and he's working the pads, and his assistant has the pad suit on, and he's fighting him.
Oh my god!
And then he's talking about how he needs to plan a kidnapping to kidnap these kids, to leverage, for them to get off his back. Yeah. So he starts talking. He's like, yeah, we can't just go kidnap him. We got cops' eyes on us like crazy. We need some some outside sources to go do this. And I'm thinking, if you have all this surveillance on you, how are you still at your spot just chilling? You know what I mean? Like, you haven't done anything.
No, I got away, so I got amnesty.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? He's just sitting there. Like, how would you, if they had, why don't they just go get you then? It's not like they can only get you when you're during the. They saw you. They were there. It's like,
you set up the deal. You dipped on them. They know you're.
Like, they can just go pick you up.
You kidnapped an FBI agent,
like,
stole all our fake money, and ran off with the bombs. And we watched you try to sell us a bomb. So it's like, what? Oh wait, we can't do anything until he does something illegal again.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Did you guys see his punches?
Nah, well,
You didn't stare. You weren't
What was
looking
up?
at his punches.
Nah, what did they do?
Holy shit!
They were that bad?
Yeah, dude. Like his elbow was connected to his hip, and he was just kind of swinging.
No.
Yeah, dude. It was terrible.
He's a ninja though.
Yo, his assistant, remember, he's like, when he's like, oh yeah, my sister knows these guys. That we
Oh
used.
yeah.
He's like, oh, call him, and he like runs over and he tries to fucking pick up the phone, but he still has the pads on his hand. He's like fucking fumbling around the phone for like a good minute with the fucking. Like, take the fucking pads. Like, are you
This
stupid?
guy's an idiot.
How you gonna dial a number?
That just makes me question: what in the fuck did his sister need to use them for?
These guys are fucking retarded.
Wait, what?
The surfer dude. Remember, he's like, my
That's
sister's
his
friend.
uncle. I mean, that's his nephew. That's he's their uncle.
Oh.
Who?
I thought.
Cause remember the surfer dude's uncle. That's their nephew.
I
Remember
thought
at
they
the
just
end
worked
he's
for
like,
his
"Hey,
sister at one
uncle."
time. Oh yeah, he did.
No,
say
did he
uncle.
say his sister's friend?
No, I know.
Sister's kid.
Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Oh,
related.
sister's kid and his
That's
friend.
right.
So he's gonna
Yeah.
put his nephew through that. He's gonna make his nephew go kidnap some children.
Hey,
Yeah, so-
sorry, go kidnap these kids or we're gonna kill you.
So he calls them and cut to and we meet these fucking it's these three surfer stoner dudes. They're at the gas station. They're the
Who
best
are
part of the fucking
the
movie.
best part
Oh
of
my
the entire
God.
film.
I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I just got a nice ass. Yeah, these guys from Jag.
So-
That's funny.
So it cuts to them and they're talking on the phone and then oh no, they're at the convenience store and they just start what?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because I remember the convenience store.
Yeah, so they're at the convenience store and they're getting lunch and then all of a sudden they just start robbing the store and the cashier just looks around to all the homies and they're just so like fucking like stoners. Like the guy's got like a gun in his mouth and he's got like 10 bags of chips and he's just like holding it up. The other guy's got like it's
A
like
Slurpee or some
yeah,
shit.
it's like they're just like so nonchalant. It's just the fucking funniest thing ever. They're
And
so dumb.
Dude's pager goes off. Mid-arm robbery.
Mid-arm
That's the
robbery.
pistol up to the guy's like face at the cash register. And his fucking pager goes off and this man goes, "Excuse me, dude. Can I borrow your phone real
Yeah,
quick?"
it's just so fucking funny.
Mid-arm robbery with all of his homies and running around with guns and shit. Like, we can't really waste time.
Yeah,
And
so
they called their uncle or his
So he
uncle.
talks to him and he tells them the plan. They got to kidnap these very specific 3 kids, but low key as fuck. They got to stay low key. And then the assistant's like, and if you fuck this up, we're gonna have to kill you. And then he hangs up the phone. And he just goes, bummer. And then they just keep going. It's just like.
But the whole time they're sitting on the counter at the convenience store
yeah,
on the
just
phone,
munching their shit. It's
like still
hilarious.
robbing
Like
the
just super nonchalant as fuck.
Bummer.
So now it cuts to the kids' room, and they have the most badass room fucking ever.
Yeah, Tum Tum playing Super Mario 3.
On Nintendo.
Yeah, and then
Ninjas all up on the wall,
Everywhere.
bunk
Oh,
beds.
shit.
They got
One
3
kid's jumping on
beds.
this
trampoline.
giant wall is like 3 desks.
They have
in,
desks, yeah,
like,
it's the
It's
best.
an awesome room. So
Sick.
like you see Colt jumping on the bed or the trampoline, and then Rocky's there on the bed talking through the can.
Dude, they can't. the
Can
fucking
phone.
sickest adventure.
Bluetooth
invention
can phone
ever.
And one
92.
thing I realized, like I heard, like I mentioned to you earlier, but like the 2 brothers were trying to be all loud and obnoxious, getting Emily, singing that one song that everybody knows. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
Yeah.
So they're singing that shit, and Rocky's like, "Oh, guys, shut up." Sorry, my brothers are retarded. And my first thought was,
that was-
that would not fly nowadays.
Yeah,
That's
luckily
funny
it's
as fuck.
92 because
Sign of the times.
Yeah,
I think he said
even
it multiple
kids
times
that
in the
young,
movie.
like they were saying retarded, like it
Yeah.
was normal.
Yeah, that's
It
hilarious.
was, yeah. That was 90. Yeah, back in the day, man.
Yeah,
you could say that
92,
shit, nobody
yeah.
would care.
And they were what, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
fucking hilarious.
So then all of a sudden, they have like the same alarm kind of as their grandpa does. The red light starts going off. That means their mom's coming.
Like,
So
Mom!
yeah, so they do their fucking. They get back into bed and they play it off.
Go flipping around the room, turning lights off.
Yeah.
Fucking what? Rocky runs, does like a flip from the trampoline up to the top bunk bed, turns off a light. The other
Yeah.
ones are doing rolls around, like hiding shit, closing the windows, and all types of shit. It's fucking sweet ass room, dude. That was so tight.
So then they play it off. The mom
Yeah.
comes in. They're sleeping.
Pretending.
And then it cuts to the fucking grandpa just like on a hill practicing his fucking ninja sword skills, like
At
in
night,
a mist,
in a mog,
Yeah.
with a fog machine.
Oh my god, it was so funny. So funny.
He had a fog.
Oh god.
Then, what was it?
He
After
goes
that,
to school.
Goes
They're
to
going
them riding their bikes to
So
school.
yes, they're getting ready to go. to
Oh
school.
my god.
So in the morning they're all like packing their lunch. It's all like in a rush and everything like that, and kids can't find their shit. And the Emily comes knocking on the door, and she comes from outside. Into the kitchen, says, "Hey guys, you ready? Cool." Everybody grabs their shit and they go outside. Next cut to the scene,
They're coming out of the
opens the
garage.
fucking garage, and they come riding out on the bicycle. And I'm
No.
like, what the fuck? They just
I didn't notice
teleport.
that.
They teleported.
Yeah. I didn't
They
notice that,
teleported.
yeah.
You noticed that too, Bobby?
No, I knew that scene, like how they did that, but that it didn't click in my head that they.
That's
were,
funny as fuck.
yeah,
I didn't even notice.
That's
So
funny.
they come out riding on the bikes and they're riding to school and they ride past this van, which obviously looks familiar. It's the surfer dude's van.
The night before when all the FBI agents
Right.
were there.
And as soon as they see 4 kids ride by on a bicycle, like they wake up and it's like, oh shit, that's them, let's go. How the fuck did they know what they look like?
Yeah, they never.
They
saw
went.
them.
They didn't go in the house.
They just
They
told
just
to get
parked
my address.
outside.
Get my address.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
true.
FBI
They just realized the
agent
cops
pulls
were
up.
there.
Yeah.
They never even saw the kids.
So they went down the street and parked out and hung out. And then they were
Four
driving
kids
by on the
ride by,
bike and
next
they
day, first day of
it
school,
woke
4
them
kids
up.
go by and it's like.
Yeah, and they just assumed it was them.
They just assumed it was them.
Oh my god! And then in another movie, they kidnapped the wrong people. That's another movie.
No, they're riding to school doing all types of shit. They fucking typical movie scene. They ride by the guy walking on the sidewalk with a bag of trash. And he fucking, of course, they all go left, right, left. They all go right on either side of him for like, and he's spinning around by the last one. Fucking trash bag goes flying in the air,
right.
garbage goes everywhere, and then they just keep going. Fucking
They crashed
typical,
into the cop car.
typical scene.
So
and then
yeah,
the guys are chasing
the kidnappers are following them, and these kids are just getting super radical. But kind of showing off to Emily. But
The
you know,
little brother does it.
they're all just getting crazy. And
Because ninja skills spawn BMX skills.
yeah.
bro. They cut that,
That's the thing.
the
And later,
construction,
they
cut
spawn
the
basketball skills.
Yeah, well, hold on. Okay, so then they were following him, and then they're getting so radical. They cut into this they go to the construction scene. They're jumping and stuff like that. And Emily can't follow him, and the fucking goons are just staring at him. And they're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! Oh shit! Oh!" And then they just fucking ram into the back of a cop. And they rear end the fucking cop, and then the cop gets out. And then he starts talking to them, so obviously they get it. And I'm thinking, how the fuck did they get out of that? They had 3 pistols in the whip.
Yeah.
They could have concealed.
Like, what the huh?
Could have concealed.
I don't know. Those morons? So I was like, how the
Yeah,
fuck
that'd
did
be
they get
really
out of
They
that
not
shit?
have like fucking like pictures, like descriptions of the guys robbing. So they went there in normal clothes. They didn't like hide their faces. So how does nobody know that these guys robbed stores? They're like, oh, it's
I know.
robberies.
Yeah.
You've obviously done multiple of them. So
Fucking
it's like,
retarded.
the fuck? The cops don't know them?
And then, so now,
Emily deviates off to a different path.
yeah,
and she
they're
runs
going
into,
so fast that she is not even in sight anymore.
Yeah, not at all.
They
So she runs into the school bullies. Essentially, they bully her and they steal her bike.
Did you notice about the bullies that everyone in their crew is wearing white, black, or gray?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like all our our characters are colorful. Everything's
Yeah.
colorful, and these are just
Symbol.
black, white, and gray. Just,
Symbolism.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, it's hilarious.
Yeah, to differentiate the good guys between the bad guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they essentially take her bike. She screams, "Rocky!" And
You
Rocky
hear
and the
them, like,
two
a half mile
kids,
away.
they come out of fucking nowhere and just skirp up with their bikes. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, your bike got stolen." While literally just watching them walk away about 20 feet in front of them. Like, they could have gone over there and grabbed the bike back, but no, they're like, "Oh, it's too far."
And
Sorry.
they're trying not to fight. They try not to fight.
It was
so.
first day of school. They just got back
Yeah.
from summer. No, this scene before that.
Yeah, hold on. So no, there's not.
It goes to the older dudes and they're like, all right, we gotta wait for these kids to get out of school. And then they're like, when does school get out? And the Asian stoner dude's like, I don't know. I never stayed till the end. And he just laughs.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's fucking
funny, yeah.
hilarious.
But yeah, so then they're at recess, and
first.
Colt's playing with the basketball with his friend, and the basketball rolls over to the bully. The bully picks it up, and now he's fucking with Colt, and he's telling him that he'll give it back if he plays him in basketball, and then he'll end up playing, giving the bike back. But then once this happens, like he starts talking about it, all these kids start yelling, "Fight, fight!" But then only thing that's been mentioned is a basketball game, and everyone's screaming. So when everyone's fucking now circling around them, and then Rocky comes up, and Rocky's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, we'll play you guys 2-on-2. We get the bikes," and he's like, "All right." And then for no reason at all, Rocky just goes, "Yeah, we'll spot you 9 points. Play to 10." For no reason. Like, why did you even do that? Like, it's not like you needed to hustle them. They asked you to play.
Yeah,
It's not like you had to hustle them like, "Will you play with me for the bikes, even if we give you 9? They came up to you and asked, and then you just randomly, like, to show off. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
That
the
just
girl
goes
said
to
stuff,
show
so-
that Rocky is a terrible businessman.
yeah.
He doesn't know how to negotiate. That was not in his ninja teaching skills.
Yeah. But one part was funny, though, was when the bullies are talking to them and trying to convince them. The bully will say something and everyone will laugh. And then the one time the bully goes, "Hey, little horsey, how about some hay?" And nobody laughs. Yeah, and then he just looks at his homie and goes, "Hey, laugh!" And everyone starts laughing. I thought that was funny as fuck. Yeah, I was like, that was Steve.
The girl gets him. She's like, "You need to stop showing off." And he sits there and looks. He's like, "I'm not showing off. I'm playing basketball." Yeah. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm not showing off. I'm just playing basketball."
It's so fucking funny.
And the kid can jump fucking.
I was gonna say,
kids can dunk.
Yeah, so
they can play 8 years old.
Like I said before, apparently ninja skills spawn basketball skills. Bro, these dudes are doing crossovers like a motherfucker.
It's like they're on the and one team.
Yeah, they're doing behind the back, over the head passes, over the head shots,
alley-oop
no
dunks.
looks,
Alley-oop
dunks out of all things. I mean,
doing alley-oop to his homie, to his brother.
Necessarily, you don't know that this is like a legit. Like sized rim, but at the same time,
they showed it from the other another angle. It's like a legit rim.
It's that's what I would take it for.
Dunking, catching alley-oop dunks, slamming on kids.
And then the last point,
the kid gets hurt.
No, the last point, Rocky does a fucking Air Jordan jump from the foul line dunk into the fucking. It was the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen.
One brother gets like tossed. He gets like the kid like fucking.
Yeah, he's like they're playing dirty. The bullies are playing dirty. So they're like checking him and
his
shit.
Brother runs up and goes to grab him and see if he's okay. And he's just like gets him. Fine, like gets all pissed off and like pushes his brother out of the way. Like fine, like bro, you just got flipped on your back. It's like we're not saying you're weak. It's like
well, that's Colt's. That's how his character. That's his character. So that goes along with his character. That's why I think he did good. Like it's a classic like middle child type character. Like I thought he did. He was like I think the best one out of all those kid actors.
Yeah.
But then, so my other question is this: how did? And then everyone's so crazy that about their basketball skills. Did no one ever see them play basketball at school before?
No, I guess not. They never like.
Really not.
It's like, how did you get so good and no one knew that you guys were this good? When did you play?
That was why this one summer was so special.
They didn't just become ninjas.
They didn't become ninjas. They also became ninja basketball players.
Got the same ups as a fucking NBA player.
They are little tiny Nate Robinsons. You guys don't know who Nate Robinson is?
He's a basketball player.
Well, you do. Do you?
What?
You know. You know.
The short ass dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
5'6" or 5'8".
So
like
now.
Spud Webb. Like tiny, like one of those, but dunk.
Yeah.
So now it's nighttime and the kids are waiting on their babysitter because their mom's going out to meet with their dad. And the babysitter comes, she's fucking hideous, and Tum Tum has like a 2-foot long Twizzler in his mouth.
The mom calls them by their fucking ninja name.
Well, I mean, because she's a parent. She's trying to be encouraging.
But it's just funny. She's like, Rocky.
That's my kid.
Yeah. She's against him. Like, I don't know.
Like, damn, you don't like the name that I gave you, but it's cool because I mean, I go by Pota now. So.
And the kid has a 4-foot Twizzler hanging out his mouth that whole time. Remember, it's like down to his ankle
for the most part.
He's walking with it.
All right, so then the mom is wondering where Colt is, and he's in his dad's room, and she's in there talking to him. They're discussing like. That Colt wants to know who's this bad guy that's, has his dad working like this. And she goes, there's a picture of him right there on the desk. And it's the photo of Snyder, Grandpa, and, like, this other woman. And it's like, and so that's the same picture that was in his crib. But so then he brings it over, he brings it into the house and starts showing Rocky. And he literally, now they're fucking convinced that this guy and Grandpa are fucking friends. They go to Rocky and he's like, yo, we saw them messing around the other day. When they tried to murder us, so they gotta be friends. And he's just fully convinced that they're friends. Oh, I don't get this.
How do they not think that was a serious event?
What the fuck?
No one thinks that then when Samurai starts trying to chop 10-year-old kids' heads off.
They tried to murder a kid.
And then
Cole has a minor case of schizophrenia.
Maybe. And then, so he just off rip thinks that this grandpa's a bad guy.
Oh, those are grandpa's friends. They were messing around the other day. It's like, that's not messing around. They tried to murder all three of you and your grandfather. They weren't cool with that. And now they're trying to kidnap you. They're not homies.
For real. So
why is your dad investigating him? What the fuck? And then the other thing, the mom's like, yeah, you want to see a picture of him? It's right there in that file on the desk. Opens up, it's like a full FBI file for like an investigation. Like, I don't think you should be left that like laying around and like for your kids to be looking at and fucking around with like what the fuck. And no one mentioned like the dad or anything. Didn't mention like, here, honey, I have a picture of this guy and your dad chilling. Like,
I mean, she probably knows, but. Okay, so then it cuts, and the kidnappers pull up, and they're wondering how they're gonna get in, and then they see a pizza guy, and then they're gonna pretend to be pizza men. So they go and they knock on the door, and they say they're pizza men. The babysitter's like looking through the people, and she's like, "We didn't order any pizza." But she's like, there's some kids called. So she opens the door, and he fucking pies her in the face with the pizza.
If you don't pay for it, I'm going to TP your house. She's like, oh my God. She opens the door like it's a serious fucking toilet paper.
And he's like laughing. Like, through the people, you can see him, and then the two guys just like huddling to the side. It looks so you can see them. Like, it's so fucking funny, yo. And so then she opens the door, and he pies her in the face, and they throw her in the fucking closet.
The kid goes, yo, bro, not cool. And the Asian kid opens the closet, goes in there, comes out with just a slice of pizza, and he's like, yeah, we're good. And then like eats the pizza and just walks away.
And then so they're sitting there in the hallway and they're talking to each other like, okay. And I thought this was funny. She's like, all right, so first we feast and then we felony. It's funny.
That's when the kid sees him because he came out and saw him look on the railing.
Looking at him.
And then then he goes back in the room and they're like, him and his brothers are like, he's like, hey, there's these guys they all have pistols. They're whole fucking just brandishing fucking firearms the whole time.
We can take them.
Yeah. These kids go in the room and they're like, all right, there's 3 dudes. Just fucking lock the babysitter in the closet. They all have pistols. All right, wait, hold on. The kid's like, let's not call the cops. This could be our chance. We can show him that we're real ninjas to dad, and he'll like let us fucking keep practicing this shit. And they decide as 10-year-olds to not call the cops when there's guys with guns in the house.
And I quote, they decide, let's not call the cops. And I quote from Tum Tum, let's myrtleize them.
Yeah, myrtleize.
So that's what they decide to do. And then it cuts back down to these fucking kidnappers, which are hilarious. They're eating pizza and they're talking and they're just bullshitting. It's so funny. They're like, man, I like this kidnapping stuff. They're like, I never got a pizza doing a robbery. And they're like, yo, this Zaw is pretty good. Like, yeah, we should save some for these kids.
It's like, we should save for the kids for kidnapping.
It's like they're probably some really nice kids. It's so fucking funny.
They're fucking awesome.
They were the best part.
I wish they did kidnap him so we could just see more of them and chill in the movie. Yeah, then it's Steezy. I wish those guys got to like actually kidnap the kids, so then they'd be like have more scenes with them.
Yeah, for sure. They would be awesome. They should make a whole movie just about them and their crime sprees.
What was his name?
I don't know their names.
I don't remember.
They're just dudes. But like, okay.
Goat seeds.
So now the fucking dudes are the kids see the alarm go off in their room, so the guys are coming up, so they hide, right? So the fucking dudes come in, they open the door, and they're just like, whoa, cool room. So like they're looking around for these kids, and then the Asian one just walking around. He walks into one side of the closet, walks through the middle, walks out, and then he has a hat on.
A red hard hat.
So fucking funny idea. I love it. And then like, so the main Chester, he's like, damn, if I was some fucking kids, he's like, where would I be?
And then mom and dad's room.
Yeah.
And then so he leaves, and then immediately when the guy closes the door, Colt jumps up in fighting position like he was ready to fight. But it's like, why didn't you jump in that when they was there 10 seconds ago? Like they all come out immediately, and it's like looking like they were ready to scrap. But it was like,
just in case one stayed behind, maybe.
I don't fucking know. Yeah. So they get up.
They think of a plan. Colt's gonna go to the room that's under construction and trap them in there. Rocky's gonna tie the door so they can't open it, and then Tum Tum's gonna go to the kitchen and make this little concoction of
pepper bombs.
Some pepper bombs. Yeah,
like chili powder and all types of shit in it.
So Colt goes into the room, and this is probably one of the saddest moments for me in the movie. He paints his mask white. I was very disappointed. Yeah. He just got that shit. That mask looked awesome.
The whole room is white because they're redoing it, so everything is white.
So he can camouflage.
He spray paints his gi in his mask. I was like,
well, no, his gi he just turned inside out.
Yeah.
I was like,
and then he painted his mask white. I'm like, I was like, fuck, that sucks. I like the blue, dude. That was dope. I was very disappointed.
Yeah. So Colt gets him to go inside, right? And
then Rocky locks them by holding the door attached to another bedroom door to where they can't open it.
With strings. He ties it to another string.
Right. To buy them some time so they can really...
But for some reason, when Rocky closes the door, 3 grown men are trying to grab the door, and he's trying... But before Rocky could tie it to the other door, these 3 grown men are pulling on it, not able to pull the door open.
3 grown-ass men.
3 grown fucking men, dog. But this part, I think, is fucking hilarious. Like, just this whole part in general. So they walk into this room, and it's dark, and everything's white, and they're... it's quiet, and they're looking around, they're like... He's like, hey, kid, he's like, we don't want to hurt you. We just want to kidnap you. Like, I thought that was fucking funny as fuck. So Colt starts, like, fucking with them, and, like, he's, like, tapping on the shoulder, and then that would cause them to punch him. Like one of them would punch the other guy. So he's, like, really fucking with them. And then at one point, them 3 are just standing there. And so Colt taps the 2 on the end on the head, so those 2 both stick the fucking dude in the middle at the same time. He's like, dude, he's like, you fucking hit me. And he's like, sorry, dude. He's like, dude, it's me. He's like, you're right.
You're right, it is you.
Dude, that part was so fucking funny, dog. So
yeah,
they start tripping out, and they're like, yo, let's just fucking go. He's like, let's just check outside. So they go in there, they're trying to tug at the door, and then Rocky's on the other side with scissors, gonna cut the string in order to make it go open. Tum Tum has the scissors, and he cuts it, and Colt's on the floor in a ball, so like, they fall backwards and they trip over him, so then that gives him some more time. So then Colt gets up, and then what Tum Tum did in the meantime was he sprayed oil and like soap all on the ground to do some.
See how he's doing? He's just jumping around
so
and just
fucking funny.
Oh
and he's
my
like,
God.
and so then Colt he does slides over because he knows it's there. They're over there, and the dudes fucking come out and they can't fucking stand up. They're just fucking slipping and sliding every which fucking way, right? And then then the kids just walk over them and they go downstairs.
Yeah.
Where Tum Tum is there in the kitchen, still making his chili powder bombs, and they have to
They're
just.
Like, you ready yet? And
he's like, no, more time. So Colt is distracting the 2, while Rocky is distracting Chester on the top floor.
Yes.
Oh,
They are both whooping all of their asses, and let me let Evan say this one next part because he's been waiting 20 years to say this.
I've always thought this part. Okay, so while they're going, Colt is beating the shit out of 2 dudes. Yeah, Rocky has Chester upstairs, and he's fighting him on like the balcony of like the hallway. He takes the ties, he wraps it around Chester's neck, and then he jumps off the balcony, which pulls Chester under down. So he's basically choking from the bottom, and then Rocky begins to climb back up from the rope. So choking him while Chester's head is hanging off the balcony. So he's laying down, being choked while this kid pulls himself up by his neck. And then then Rocky ties the ties to the banister, and but it's choking Chester because he's laying down, and he's tying it to the banister above him.
Just stand up.
And all he has to do is stand up, and there would be no tension in choking him. But he continues to lay down
and choke himself
until the dudes have to come and save him like 10 movie minutes later. And I've always thought this, it doesn't make sense. And then when they do come over and help him up, they literally just touch him on the back, and and he just stands up, and it's perfectly fine. But yeah, ever since I've seen that, I've never got that.
He could literally just sat up on his ass and just leaned.
He could have just sat up and just got it. Like it didn't make any fucking sense. Physics it was like
he's literally like pushing all of his weight down on the ground to choke himself.
Yeah,
and he's letting out his whole body weight.
Like it made
down.
sense to get out. It made sense when he jumped off with him connected. That was Steve. He jumped off and he snapped his neck. He should have.
This kid just tried to murder.
He should have. He's about 70 pounds, 80-pound kid.
Imagine 80 pounds just
on your neck. The only thing that's holding him is your neck.
And it's getting more tension because it goes over the fucking banister, so it's like a pulley. It's like even yanking even harder. That guy would have died. That kid would have murdered that dude. Hey, they broke into their house and fucking they would have.
Oh my god, dude.
So then so Colt's still beating the shit out of these 2 fucking dudes. 2 grown men can't beat up this one kid. It's fucking insane.
Who knows? Oh, the other kids whoop the other dudes, and he has a pin on a chair, and he's like has
the fire poker or the fire.
Yeah, the little tongs.
Oh yeah, the tongs. And he comes and grabs him by the throat, and he's literally tossing him around the room like a fucking rag doll.
Yeah, then they get them. They're both in the corner hiding.
A 10-year-old.
And he's like standing there, but look like he's gonna hit him.
He's tossing an adult.
They like close their eyes and they go, oh, they like block their faces and
like
they look back up. They look back up and the kid's just gone.
He pulled the grandpa.
Yeah, he pulled the grandpa, just disappears. It's like, why would you either get rid of these guys or knock them out? Like, you just let them still chill in your house after they broke in. They're trying to get you.
So then all the brothers, they rendezvous in the kitchen. Now they get the pepper bombs that Tum Tum made. So they hide in there, and then the dudes just walk in. They immediately start bombarding him with these peppers, hitting him in their eyes. They're
like
fucking they're blinded. So their eyes are burning. They go out, and then Rocky's getting ready for phase 2. But before phase 2, Colt's like, wait. And then he pulls out a bottle of laxative that he's had in his gi this entire time.
Remember last summer?
Yeah, what did he say? Go.
He's like, remember that? He's like something about. He's like, oh, remember that dump last summer or whatever? The dump last summer. I don't know. He gets something on him. He's like, yeah.
His little brother couldn't take a shit.
Oh yeah. He's like, yeah. You couldn't dump last summer or some shit. He's like, Laxomax or some shit, and he pulls out like a jug of fucking
Insta shit,
and he's like, "This is instant diarrhea."
So he pours it in the soda.
In their soda from the pizza they stole.
A lot.
The whole bottle into a giant, large Coke,
and it's mix it up. And they're planning, so they're planning to have him drink it as Tum Tum to go in. And I always thought this was funny. He walks in pretending to drink, and he's like, "This stuff is good." Yeah, and the dude just looking at him like, give me that. They
Well,
forget about
just
kidnapping.
like that,
yeah, they're just like, give me that.
Because they're all pepper in their mouth and
Yeah.
their face. They're like,
And they're just chugging.
He walks back, he's like, done. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like, task done or some shit. And then they're like, look at him. He's like, yeah, it was easy. It's like, who walks in and does that? You're trying to kidnap. You're just like, all right, you could just grab the kid. You're just like, give me that.
I know. So they drink that shit and then they go and save Chester. He's just getting choked. He's like, dude. So then they go up and then they help him stand up. Apparently,
They just touch him and he stands up.
so then they get up and then they start going into the room. They're looking up for stuff they can just use against him. They find the fucking tin can that's connected over to Emily, and he does a little 10-year-old voice, and he convinces her to come through. So she's like, yeah, come to the front door. So Emily walks in, and then we have a view of the front door. Emily walks in, and while she's walking in, we can see behind her, and it's just the three dudes huddled up in the corner behind a plant, cracking up while she just can't see him because they're behind him or behind her, and it's just so fucking funny. I don't know why I thought that was so fucking funny. And that they're so fucking dumb, and then they grab her and then use her like as a hostage. So the kidnappers got Emily, and they go up to the room where the brothers are. They knock on the door. And they open the door, and right when they think that they got him, they convince them to put down their weapons. They fashioned like fucking a bow staff out of like pipe, and then Colt's like sharpening scissors.
Yeah, you saw that too?
Yeah.
Sharpening scissors?
Scissors. Like, when are you gonna stab him, motherfucker? You're not gonna stab nobody.
Funny.
So then they come in, and they convince them to put down their weapons, but right then fucking the two dudes start going like they have to take uncontrollable dumps. So they run off to the fucking bathroom, and they leave their guns with Chester, and then the girl, and then Tum Tum's on top. He smashes him with a fucking tennis racket, and they got the upper hand now. And then so then now these fucking dudes are on the toilet. At one point, the dude's on the toilet, the kids open up, and they start destroying these fucking guys while they're on the toilet. He's taking the fucking shit, and they're on
Let
there.
the man take a shit in
beating the
peace.
ass.
You give him
beating
wax
their
everything
ass.
and run in there while he's dumping and beat the shit.
He pulls out a plunger, and then they take the plunger from him. Then they get the plunger, and they shove it in his face.
That's not how plungers work. It's not gonna suction cup your face.
It's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna
mushing
you're
a
gonna get
disgusting fucking plunger on someone's face.
Yeah, that's been in poop before,
Yeah.
in piss before. So I mean,
Mush
I
it
guess
on
that's a
someone's face.
punishment in itself.
Yeah, so
but-
they just
While you're shitting uncontrollably. Imagine how laxative shit. Imagine how
they're just dumping.
you're just
they're
like
pissing
imagine
out
when
their-
you're like sick. You know how bad it is when you're sick and you can't
Yeah.
stop. Imagine 10 times
and
worse
you're on
than that.
and you're on the kidnapping mission.
Yeah,
and
and
you
you're
have
in
to
a
say-
mid-mission.
And you just ate pizza.
Beat up.
And you-
And you eat a bunch
They're
of
getting
pizza.
beat up by children.
And
Like,
you
this is
get
not
beat
how
up
to
at
do
the
it.
same time while shitting uncontrollably.
So coming up is a part I had a problem with. So they basically defeat these robbers, right? They go down and they find the woman, they find the babysitter in the closet. They open the door, and first off, I forgot, they open the door, and first off, Tum Tum is so inconsiderate, because he opens the door and immediately starts yelling at this woman. He goes, "You better save some pizza for us." And she's just like,
This lady's got like pizza smeared all over her face,
She's been locked in
pepperonis
there.
and everything
she's
on
just
her
been
eyeball.
assaulted. And then, okay, so this is the part that bothered me, which I don't get. Then all of a sudden, the assistant and then this big bad guy come up from behind him with a
Smart
couple
job.
ninjas, and then they end up kidnapping them.
Because they know they're going to do the job.
But my problem is,
That's his
my thing
uncle.
is,
That's the kid's uncle.
but I'm saying the whole point of getting these kids was because they were being so surveillanced that they couldn't go.
So they walk into the FBI
they went
agent's
anyway.
house. They walk into the FBI agent's house, who pulls up in 10 minutes with the whole FBI squad.
It doesn't make any
They were
sense.
there last
What was the
night,
point of
and
why
they
didn't you
were
just
coming
do
that
that in the
day.
first place?
Guess where they don't surveillance? The FBI agent's house.
So,
But they would
right?
follow him
Did
there.
anyone else notice
Yeah,
that?
they'd follow
Did you
him
notice
there.
that?
I didn't put that one together.
What?
No.
The
Yeah.
night
Look,
before,
Thomas,
those
there was
guys
no-
couldn't they couldn't get him because the FBI agents were
I
at his house.
I took it for what you said initially. It's like
Yeah.
they knew they couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, and then they just like there's like backup, like fuck, I guess we had to do it ourselves. Like, why didn't you just hire somebody else?
So dumb.
Why would you even give him that job?
Yeah,
Now you have to go
bring the big
kill your
guy.
nephew and his friends.
Bring the big guy.
So yeah, these guys kidnap him. They end up kidnapping. So then, now it cuts to FBI and everybody's all at the crib, right? Everyone's whining.
Yeah, beat up. Scene's beat up.
And all of a sudden, like, it's like the mom and dad, they're talking. You know, Emily gives the mom an address, like, they find out they're at Snyder's. And then all of a sudden, these cops just, like, hold and freeze! They've got their guns pointed. And then out in the distance, in a thing of mist, there's just a black, shadowy figure.
Silhouette.
It's fucking the grandpa in a fucking ninja suit with a sword just going
And a mask
Red
and
It's
stuff.
just the
thing
wacky-
covering his face, but it's like
my-
all
I laugh,
crooked,
yeah.
like over his face.
Bro, he
so
looks like
bad.
such a fucking idiot with this thing on.
And then the mother's like, "Dad, what are you doing here?" I came to check on my family.
Bro.
How would he have known anything was wrong?
He
Number
dropped
one.
him off yesterday.
And two, he
He
must
dropped
have.
him off yesterday.
Yeah, he must have known something was up because he had the time to change into the gi.
And he walked there.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just pull up in his whip like
Because
he just dropped him
ninjas
off
can
the night
teleport.
before?
But you know what
The
I was
night
thinking?
before he dropped
Imagine this from the mom and like from the dad's perspective. Imagine the dad's perspective. You see your father-in-law
And all your
walk up
colleagues.
in a 65-year-old man walk up in a
Your whole
ninja
FBI colleagues are all at your
costume.
house. Kids are missing. He walks up in a samurai sword.
Like you're like, this dude is
I'd be like,
senile.
dude,
Like, I have a ninja. And it's all,
Yeah,
his
like-
mask is all fucked up.
You need help.
Someone put this man in a hospital.
So, like, he is not right. He is not right.
I just love it. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, takes his mask off. He's like, I'm a ninja. Give me 24 hours and I'll get him. I'll get them back.
What if he?
And then they turn around. The cops like, oh, we got some evidence or some shit. He's like, all right. He's like, I'll be right there. You got.
Oh yeah.
Where'd he go? Where did he go? How did nobody see
Oh
him
yeah,
move?
and then the grandpa
He's
disappears
like
again.
40
Like,
fucking police
all I
officers.
see is a 65-year-old man just slinking away in the background, just like, because that's all he was like.
Yeah.
How would you have done
couldn't
that?
have
Like,
done anything
just
else
slinking
but
around
run
back behind cars, like being all slick, like you're a 65-year-old man.
Like all the other cops have to pretend like they didn't see him.
And then, like, the
away.
neighbor's
Yeah.
point of view, they're just kind of looking out the window. They just see this old fat dude just running down the street in a ninja gi. with
He's
a
all
sword.
fat and just trying to
It's
run.
like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, that was funny. He just
Funny as
disappears.
shit. So yeah, he decides to go and they figure out the exact location.
Well, because they
Instantly.
left it with Emily. They left. Remember, the Emily asked. She's like, "I know where they are." She left that piece of paper,
Right.
and they find out that she's at Snyder's. And then Grandpa, he's a ninja. That's
What
remember.
piece of paper was it?
They
Their
left it
parents,
with
their
her.
parents showed it. Like the mom and the dad looked at it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what did the,
They
They
so the
want
note
them
said?
to know. The
hey,
whole point is for them to have leverage.
this is where we are, not I just have your kids.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Imagine
What
they
was their
showed up like, we
plan?
don't have your kids. We just left it.
Well, yeah. What was their
What
plan?
was their plan to reveal the location? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could have said they had the kids, but what was the plan in revealing
Wait,
their
you're right.
location?
Because what ended up happening was at the end
Grandpa-
the cops come. Though,
Right.
So it's like that would have happened
He's
anyway.
like, yeah, he's like, I can have a squad of 100 people go there right now in 10 minutes. And Grandpa's like, no, I'm going to do it all
I'm gonna
myself.
ninja him
I'm gonna
first.
walk there. I'll be there in like.
Yeah.
And then they end up
But
showing
you're
up
right, what
anyway.
was
You have
fucking-
24 hours. They show up anyway. Why don't you just do
That was
this?
so fucking.
Why
dumb.
didn't you guys all just
They
ride
showed
out
up at
there?
the perfect time, too, right?
Yeah.
We
No,
killed
let's
Grandpa.
not- yeah. So okay. So let's not
I
get there
ruined
yet.
it.
No, I mean. let's
No,
just
then
get
the
there.
grandpa goes. He,
So hold on. So it cuts to so that they take the kids to the boat, right?
Yeah,
so
the
that
big
the
ass
kids are
ship.
locked up. They're in a cell. In the boat, on the boat, there's like a whole ninja academy. There's
That, I
ninjas.
thought that was really dope.
It was cool,
actually.
but what are they training for? They can't beat up 3 children. Like they suck. They're the
a
worst.
nuclear holocaust.
but
Yeah.
all those ninjas are trained off of Snyder, which is trained by the grandpa. So the kids are trained by technically better than those.
They're better than them.
Because Snyder's learned from his grandpa and taught those. And remember, they're like, doesn't that style look familiar? And they're like,
Yeah,
your grandpa
shit,
taught
you
Snyder.
could- yeah.
Taught Snyder how that was his best student.
So they get locked up, and Colt's starting to freak out, and he thinks that it's over, and that there's no way to get out. But Rocky's he's saying he's like you got to use everything in your surroundings, man.
He's
It's
Mr.
the-
Optimistic.
Yeah, he's like you got to use everything in your surroundings, man. He's like that's the ninja way. And then he starts looking around, and
He's a Jedi.
he starts looking around. And he sees there's a telephone, so he walks up to the telephone, and he calls up the fucking like operator, and
The
he's like
switchboard
he's like,
operator.
hey man, he's like I'm just doing a phone check. I'm in the kids' cell. Can you give me a call back? And then the dude calls back. He goes to the guard outside. He's like, hey, it's for you. So the guard comes in with his backs toward the kid. Rocky starts to spin the phone around and knocks the fucking guard out with one hit, and now they're safe. And now they get out.
He knocks
That
him
was
down,
easy.
and then he knees him in the face.
Yeah, and then he knees him.
Because they can't beat up anybody because they have to wait for all of them to fall down to their knees.
Yeah,
and
'cause
actually
they're
hit him
height.
in the face. So that
And thus their onslaught begins.
Yeah, they're about to like knock out.
Destroy everyone on that boat.
there's about 100. There's a full ninja academy on that boat, and these kids just run through like
They destroy
100 and
all
At
of
something
least
them.
people.
100. At
least
least 100
100
people.
These
people.
people have swords.
all of
Yeah,
them have
swords.
swords and guns and all types of
But
shit.
then again, swords are really useless in close quarters.
Yeah, but yeah,
Oh,
sure. As
that
we're
was it.
shown, yeah. But yeah, so they're just whooping everybody's ass, right? And then so they get to this one point where there's like 4 ninjas coming with swords from the left, 4 ninjas coming at swords to the right, and they're like, oh, what do? They're backed up into a corner, and then
Luckily, there's a little mini workshop right behind them.
luckily they just make something out of nothing. They're fucking MacGyver. Colt pulls a piece of electrical pipe,
Off
and
the
he
wall.
starts twisting it to the point where they come on, and he turns them into nunchucks. He twists it to
There's
the
a
point
wire
where
in
it
them.
fastens a wire in there that's perfectly attached that he can just flip around perfect like nunchucks. And then Rocky
yanked that off the wall.
Yanked it off the wall. Off electricity.
And had enough wire and everything.
And it was perfect.
It together, yeah.
And then Rocky picks up like 2 wrenches that have chains, and then Tum Tum picks up a sack of chains, and then they begin to whoop these guys with swords. They destroy them.
Senseless.
And then, well, before that, one of the dudes that has nunchucks, one of the bad guys, he starts nunchucking so hard that he beats the shit out of the 2 dudes next to him.
Yeah, he whoops his own homies. Because the kids show off with their makeshift nunchucks, and then he's like, man, this kid ain't got shit. He goes, does all these crazy moves, and just literally nonstop just hits his 2 guys next to him like 30 times in the face with nunchucks, and just destroys his own homies.
So then they of course whoop their ass, and they go, and then oh shit, they're stopping. There's one really badass dude doing some crazy moves, and he's like looks like a crazy dude. He starts licking his fucking sword, and all of a sudden Colt's like, I got this, because somehow he just knows. And the guy starts running after him, running towards him. So Colt just backs up. He undoes a pipe, and it just shoots steam in this guy's perfectly into this guy's face.
Like he knew exactly what was gonna happen.
Like he just somehow knew.
It's like, if I pull this pipe, steam's gonna come out and burn him in the eyeballs.
And then Colt is such a fucking swordsman. He grabs this guy's sword and ends up Zorroing this guy's fucking gi off, but was not cutting this guy. He slices him.
He's Master Sword Katana
Master Swordsman. He's slicing this man. Slicing the shit, doesn't cut him. He cuts his whole fucking shit off, and this dude is so embarrassed. He's like jailhousing, and he's like crying. And then Tum Tum goes. He looks at him. The dude turns. He looks at him, and then Tum Tum just sticks him one last time. These kids are pieces of shit. He sticks him one last time, and he falls over.
You just burnt his eyes with steam. He has no clothes. He got his ass kicked. And the littlest kid just walks over and crouches down, looks him in the face. He's looking at him in the eyes, looking around, and just fucking one punch, just hits him. He's like, you're a fucking piece of shit, Tum Tum.
He's awesome.
I thought that was funny. That was such a good part.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was so.
So then it cuts to a little hallway scene where you see a bunch of them go through a hallway, and then you see Grandpa come up. Hey, there's Grandpa. He gets on board, and he's going down a corridor. And then he sees the number 2 henchman, the geeky dude with the perm and in the glasses, and like with a bunch of ninjas. And then they try to take their swords out. Close quarter combat, can't take their swords out in the hallway. Grandpa comes running up, monkey bars on the pipes above, and bam, kicks them all 3 of them out like bowling ball. And just destroys them. And then the other dude stares in just complete fucking fright. He's scared shitless, about to piss himself. And then he tries to run, turns around, boom, knocks himself out by hitting his head on a spigot.
So, and then the kids, they go and they're going and they see Grandpa on the other side, right? They're like, hey, Grandpa! And the Grandpa's looking at him, and they think that, like, all mad, and he's starting to throw a knife, and the kids are like, no, Grandpa, it's just us! What are you doing, Grandpa? Why are you doing this? And then he throws a knife. It's the only stab in the whole movie, and then they duck, and it stabs a henchman behind him. And then they're like, oh, Grandpa, thanks for coming back and saving us. Like, it was all straight, like...
You just killed that guy. In front of your grandkids. You just nearly killed... What if your grandkid didn't duck? You would have killed your grandkid, and you murdered somebody.
He's the only guy that stabbed me. He's got stabbed in his heart.
Movie, that is the one dude with swords trying to kill a little kid.
The bad dude dies.
I mean,
yeah. But
dude,
still.
That's so funny. You killed.
You just killed him.
Yeah, he's dead.
You fucking killed him.
So they're
in front of your grandkids.
So they're running, and they get into
No wonder the dad doesn't want to hang
and
out
then.
with Grandpa.
Wait, but they get split up again somehow,
He's a
right?
murderer.
Yeah, they get split up again somehow because then the kids are now in this.
Fighting. They're all fighting.
They're all fighting.
They go to they go to the training area.
And
There's mats everywhere, and then ninjas surround them, and they're like, "All right, bring it on!" And they just start going fucking at it. So Rocky takes on 2, Colt takes on 2, Tum Tum's got 1, and they're just fucking whooping ass.
They destroy like a million,
right? Just killing it, and then. For some reason, like these 2 ninjas that Rocky is fighting, all of a sudden they just start to fucking power up and do this fucking choreographed dance. Where
they're in a fraternity, a step dance fraternity,
or some Irish fucking fraternity. I don't fucking know. They spin around and they're coming, and then of course Rocky's gonna do the double drop kick, just straight up like bam, knock them both out.
It looks like it had no pressure to it, like at all, like no force, and they just fall over, and then he does a flip and then punches them both in the face, and they're out for the count. Yeah. So they
fucking Tum Tums when he fucking
he God.
Does a punch and the guy just goes. Deeks it.
He winds it up.
He winds it up, literally winds it up.
Yeah,
throws
like
a
3 or
punch.
4 or 5 rotations.
Then he throws a punch. The guy deeks it. Obviously, it's a fucking 8-year-old kid throwing a
most
wind-up
telegraphed
punch. Yeah, guy deeks it. Tum Tum barely taps a fucking like a 2x4 or something. Typical movie, like punches. He's like, ow, shaking his hand like so bad.
All right,
Funny
so
ass
then
fight
this
scene.
part is fucking hilarious. So they defeat all these fucking ninjas.
No, the boys attack the giant dude.
Oh, they do that first?
And they
Okay, hold on. All right, start it over when the Asian comes.
Yeah.
You started.
Before even the giant dude, I just have to say that all these ninjas getting their ass kicked, that says a lot about the teacher.
Yeah, it's
suck ass.
That's the whole. I guess that's all because it's Snyder as the teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah, he sucks.
Terrible.
Well, he's a bad guy.
So,
Yeah.
how is he good
kids-
and everybody else sucks?
Because he got trained by fucking Grandpa, which is the fucking OG.
The kids are about
And
to
he
do
can't
some
train
shit.
other people himself.
Because he's an asshole. He's a fucking selfish leader. Did you notice how the fucking the yin and the yang symbol will look like an S? I'm assuming
Yeah.
for Snyder because he's like a narcissistic ass bad dude. That's the whole point is his being. That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
That's why
Dude.
he can't teach anybody. He's a piece of shit. Like Grandpa
Yeah.
teaches with love and care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Passion.
he's like fucking trying to murder people.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dude, the kids at one point were like, "What should we do?" The one kid's like, "We should run." The other kid goes, or Tum goes, "We should run." And fucking
Colt's the badass.
Yeah, Colt's Rocky is like, he's like, "Oh no, we should hide." And then goes the Colt and he's like, "We should kick their butt."
Yeah, he's always
Gets out
ready.
and
He's
so
always
he's
out
like,
there
"Fuck
ready."
that, we're going to fight these
He's ready
dudes."
to
Like,
square him. He doesn't
like,
give
we
a
should run,
fuck.
we should hide, we should kick their ass.
He's like, we should fucking. He says that a few times, like it's
lot.
like that.
Yeah, like he ain't no
But-
bitch.
but
So yeah, big Asian man comes strutting out, and they're all intimidated because this guy's a fucking giant.
Oh, so he
and,
comes in on the fucking.
They start
Oh, wait.
trying to whoop his ass, and big guy does what big guy does.
His
and
punches aren't doing anything.
throws the kids around on the mat just like they're nothing, like what they are, fucking kids. And then you see Grandpa from the rafters reveal himself. Rocky, remember the dummy. Light up the eyes.
With his Forrest Whitaker eye over there, like.
oh, okay, no problem.
Nice ass fucking big
And they
black.
start lighting
They
him
start
up.
lighting him up. Rocky
Dickhead.
throws a kick, he catches it, but then Colt comes right behind, hits him right in the pit, boom, fucking rocks him.
Kicks him in the
And then
liver.
Colt comes, hits him in the other pit, boom, rocks him again. And Tum Tum comes, gets picked up, boom, right in the neck. He just keeps going. And then Tum Tum comes again,
Falls underneath.
boom, cock shot. It was awesome. It was like a baseball slide straight into the dick. And then the final thing was they grabbed Tum Tum, face him like completely horizontal, head first, and just
Battering ram.
kind of
Yeah, like a fucking
Battering
battering
Let a
ram.
battering ram just
A
hit
8-year-old
right
kid.
into the guy's
Head
fucking stomach of
It's
all
a
places.
sternum.
That would hurt Tum Tum more.
That
That
would-
guy.
that
His
would-
neck would be broken.
Probably.
Like, what the fuck? And he's just like, oh, it's straight. Like, what the fuck?
The
Which
guy
in
goes down,
turn
but
has a
Tum Tum
delayed knockout effect on giant behemoth man,
Yeah,
and
he-
he falls down.
He stumbles back.
Genghis
and
Khan fails.
When does okay. So then now, so he falls down, and then all of a sudden he gets knocked out, and then all the fucking other henchmen ninja guys pulls out
pull
their
the
pistols
pistols, right?
out of nowhere.
Pistols,
Like,
their
They stood
AK-47s.
there the whole
they just
time.
have
Oh,
pistols
the pistols,
now.
right?
Yeah.
And
They
then
stood there the
Grandpa
whole time,
comes
watched
down.
them.
Okay, yeah, so
Then
they
Grandpa
hold on.
purpose.
Yeah, so they fucking they all pull their pistols out. Then Grandpa on the second story, he, and he just front flips down.
The longest multiple angle
Yes.
shot montage clip of him front of like.
65-year-old man. He's like, dog, I laugh.
Every angle he got, that's another
so
ayah.
fucking funny,
Every
dog.
angle's another ayah.
Yeah.
Ayah, 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 ayah. It's fucking hilarious. Flips 3 stories.
Yeah.
3 stories out the railing. He's 65 years old. His man's
65-year-old
knees,
man.
his kneecaps would have shot out and fucking exploded.
What is kneecaps?
Oh my god.
His fucking spine would have compressed till
He
dust.
has none. Till
Okay, so he gets down there and he's like, got his kids back or got his grandkids back, and then a bunch of ninjas pile in, and then in comes Snyder in like a fucking velvet or silk fucking gi. that's like fucking red, like
Fucking,
beige
yeah.
or not beige, like
Maroon?
maroon.
pretty sick.
But
Burgundy
yeah, it was
maroon,
just I just thought it
fucking
looked
silk.
kind of funny.
And if he had that
Silky.
red mask, it would have looked fire.
They should
Yeah.
have fucking pissed on
But
him.
Grandpa kept that mask.
Yeah, so his thing is he's gonna Grandpa convinced him to fight him for their safety, right? If Grandpa loses, he's dead.
And
But
the
if Grandpa
kids.
wins, the kids can go, right?
So Grandpa's still dead.
What?
He
Yeah,
just said that.
essentially.
He's like, all right, either all you guys die or just the
What's this-
kids
oh,
will
okay,
survive.
so yeah,
He died
okay.
anyway. But he's
So-
like, because he said just the kids can go.
Oh.
If you win, not him. He's
No,
for the
true.
Grandpa anyway.
But so then they have a last huddle up, and
He
you know,
kind
they-
of sounded like Christopher Walken when he was talking on that last bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And this one, I forget what the line was, but he kind of sounded like Christopher Walken.
So
Daddy likes Steven Seagal a lot, apparently.
Steven Seagal.
All right.
Stole his look.
yeah, so they do a last huddle up, and they're saying like they're doing their thing, and then fucking Tum Tum goes, "Take these for good luck," and he gives fucking Grandpa some fucking jelly beans, and he puts them God knows where.
Massive jelly beans. Massive jelly beans.
So then Snyder fucking just grabs Grandpa, and they fucking start fighting. And in this scene, it's just like all I can see. Because, it's obviously stunt double. No one's questioning that. But all I see is just a 65-year-old actor struggling to just, hold the sword up and, fight.
Fake rubber sword that's
every
jiggling
time it's,
all over the
actually
place.
him. He just looks so, he's just so frail. And I'm like, oh, my God. That's all I imagine is just this fucking old guy just, running around in a ninja costume.
Imagine how many times they had to cut that scene to, how many times it took to do that.
Dog, I started laughing so fucking hard, bro.
Probably took him, a month just for that scene.
Yeah.
So bad.
So Snyder's beating Grandpa to death, basically. And then, first off, tell me if this is fair. They start fighting hand to hand, and Grandpa all of a sudden pulls the sword out.
Grandpa pulled the sword out first, or
Yes,
Snyder
no,
did?
Grandpa did.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit. So that's why I don't blame Snyder for doing the pepper bomb at the end.
Grandpa pulled his fucking samurai
the
sword on me.
We were doing fucking hands.
We're keeping it in hands only.
And then the funny thing
What
was,
a bitch! I didn't notice that.
yeah, and then the funny thing was, Snyder gets a hold of the sword and he chucks it at Grandpa and it goes flying off screen. And I'm just thinking, there was just henchmen behind him. Did one get speared?
Fuck him.
Yeah,
it was
like,
worth it.
It's like,
Did he throw it at him or did
Fuck
Grandpa
him.
throw it at Snyder?
I don't know. Yeah, a sword gets thrown.
Yeah, I just see it goes.
And it just goes away. Yeah, flies off screen.
Fucking rockets straight across the room. Probably stabbed the guy in the fucking face.
So Snyder's basically beating him to death. He hits him with a sweet kick to the face. Grandpa does like a 1080.
720 fucking
he does like a
tailspin.
720, and he lands in the fucking
Typical.
ground. And then, Grandpa's looking up. He's looking at the kids, and they're doing like this hand-in-hand fucking bow.
Praying bow
And then
thing.
Snyder picks up this fucking guy like a rag doll. I feel so bad. As a 65-year-old man,
Grandpa.
he looks like a fucking doll.
Picks him up from his gi, the
Yeah.
quintessential how a bully picks up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the jelly beans, he takes the jelly beans and shoves them in Snyder's mouth.
Snyder's looking up and just laughing, but so he's laughing like this just to get jelly beans in. He's like, ha, ha, ha. He's not.
He's every time. He's like giving him perfect opportunity, like looking right in the old man's face while he's like half dead, just going, like open his mouth as wide as he can. And of course, you're like, oh my god.
So he jelly beans him, he chokes,
Throws
and he
like
kicks
a
the
handful,
shit out of him.
and then he beats his ass.
So he beats his ass, and then he wins, and then he's all happy when Snyder goes like, "What? I never lose!" And he goes and he grabs one of the AKs, and he's about to fire off, but bang! He gets shot, quote unquote, because you don't see blood or anything. He just goes, puts his hand over his chest, and up there, who do you know? It's the FBI,
40
and it's the
FBI
dad.
agents.
And I'm thinking, were they just standing there watching the whole time, watching Grandpa get pummeled to death? Did he know he was going to do the jelly bean trick?
No.
Like, he thought he was dead. They're just like, wait, no, he's going to come back, I swear. Like, what?
I know, he's my father. He's got some sweet moves. Wait for it. Just wait for it.
Just give him a second.
He
Wait.
said 24 hours. It's not 24 hours yet. You don't step in unless you need. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like it was more like it was like the dawn of the UFC. They kind of see like a bunch of people fighting. And they're just like, hold on, let's stop and watch this shit real quick.
This is pretty fucking tight.
That's pretty dope.
But
Oh
like,
shit,
no,
look at that move
Grandpa,
right there.
we can't let him.
Oh, he knocked him out.
Like, all right, in the rules when we start the UFC, no jelly beans, all right? No fucking jelly beans. No jelly beans in the UFC.
Rule number 1, no jelly beans. And so what? After that, they so Snyder's dead.
Dude,
Snyder's
the
dead.
The FBI agent comes up to him. Remember he's talking to his kids. He's in there fucking talking to them. Oh, yeah, can we still do karate with Grandpa? Yeah, this, and that. They're talking. And the fucking FBI agent's like, hey, get over here. You got a bunch of evidence to collect. First of all, this is a whole mission on his kids were fucking kidnapped by this deranged psychopath who's trying to kill his kids and his grandpa. He's not collecting evidence. His kids just got kidnapped. They just got him back. Get to work, you piece of shit. Fuck your kids. Your grandpa, your father-in-law is half dead. Get in there and get fingerprints. Fucking asshole.
Oh my god. I didn't even think that you were right with
So
his
she's
dick.
like, no, I'm going to take time and spend my family. Yeah, they just got fucking rescued.
And it's all like played like he did this grandiose
Like he
gesture,
just
like
quit his
nah.
job.
It's like
Fuck
we just
you.
got kidnapped and had to fight our way out of 80 ninjas.
My 3 sons under the age of 12 just killed a fucking whole a thing that I couldn't even capture the fucking lead later, he just murked everyone.
Oh my god.
My kids took down a whole ring, and the FBI couldn't.
Oh my
I
god.
spent time with my kids who almost died, alright?
That's fucking
See
great.
that old Chinese man who's about to fucking die right now? Yeah, that's my father-in-law.
Bro, that's so fucking funny.
Oh, hold on, let me go collect those shell casings on the ground.
Yeah.
That was
So,
awesome.
so yeah, that
fucking
happens,
dudes.
and then that's shown to be like that wraps up their whole issue with the dad not being around. So that's supposed to show us that okay, now everything has changed, and now that's the
It's
whole
alright.
movie with this era.
Everything's now sunshine
everything's
Grandpa's
rainbows.
friends with a fucking international fucking murderer crazy dude. Yeah, Grandpa's good because he kicked his ass.
Yeah, I know.
He's fine now.
This
How many
kid's
other
so
criminals
dumb.
do you know, Grandpa?
I know.
It's fucking
But
ridiculous.
yeah, so then the movie's fucking over. They go and get pizza, and then the after credit scene, or one that was like missing from there, or something like that. And I guess they did it before the Avengers. They had the one where it showed the scene like after the basketball, after that day of school, where they meet up back with the bullies, and then Rocky ends up beating the shit out of the one dude, which is kind of closure because you're always asking like, why the fuck don't they beat the shit out of these kids? So it's kind of nice to see him beat the shit out of the bullies.
His
and get the
earring
fight
changed
back.
multiple times in that fucking scene.
The bullies?
Yeah.
No
It
way.
went from like this chain kind of dangling thing to this little fucking circle.
How old was that kid? They were in like elementary school. He's got an earring?
That kid's
It was like a hoop earring.
Kids in
He
my
has, like,
school.
he had,
I
like,
remember
the-
kids that age had earrings.
90, damn, that's
It's
90.
like he had like a POW hat on.
Yeah, man.
And, like he's like a little like
That was the thing back the POW. They weren't back in '92. Oh, I'm
POW
thinking
person.
POD. Jesus Christ, POW.
POW, like
fucking
look
guy.
like a POW fucking thing.
Fucking bands.
But yeah, so the fucking movie's over and everything's straight.
On the suit.
And
Jeff.
so yeah, fucking
Sam.
I still love this movie, and it was so
The
nice
after
to talk
credit
shit
scene,
about
man.
it.
Yeah,
He beats
no.
his ass. They get out the. He'd be like, whoops the shit out of this kid.
But I
Good
forgot we
talk, sir.
didn't rate it in the beginning, so let's go around and,
Oh.
and see what yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't do that.
I'm gonna give it a good like 7,
Yeah.
7.5.
Damn.
Yeah.
You get
It's a
pretty
good.
high.
It's a good movie for a '92 movie.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. It's a
Like
good
how
movie.
often did you actually laugh in this movie
A lot,
because of the
yeah.
fucking stoner dude and
Yeah,
how dumb it
fucking-
is?
They-
like oh
Cause
my
then
They,
just
they
brings me back
definitely
to my
elevated the
child-
movie
yeah.
to
It brings me back to like
multiple
childhood
points.
humor, like
Points.
childhood humor.
exactly.
It's
And
like
it's clean
This is like
humor,
a, yeah,
so it's not
clean
like
humor
just
that-
dick and fart jokes.
Yeah,
where
and
like
it's barely 2 people died in the whole thing, maybe, and you barely.
gotta be
and you didn't even
creative.
see anything.
Yeah.
It's like funny as fuck. It brings back memories of being a kid.
So
like I
nostalgic.
love those in the old '90s movies, even though I was
so
only
see,
a
you're
year
the
old.
first time you've seen it, so that's
Yeah, it
crazy.
was
I
good
forgot
for me.
about that. Yeah,
You know,
I
just
probably
thought of-
have seen it, but I just don't remember
Yeah.
it being so.
I watch it religiously.
The murderers in this movie are the good guys. Grandpa kills one, and the dad kills
Yeah,
one.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd give it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, I'd give it like a
90s
fucking 8.
90s edit. It's not
An
too bad.
8.
Yeah, I'd give
It's
it-
not too. Evans also on the other side. He's like
I
doing like
fucking religiously
Marvel
watch-
movies.
Yeah.
this is
That's
Evan's movie.
all
Yeah, he
nostalgia
watches
for
his
me.
his
But I
whole
could
life.
still
He's watched
rip
his whole
on
life.
it.
Yeah,
I'll be
of
like we
course, but
did.
you're still
Yeah.
gonna give it a good rating because you love it.
Because it's so
It's so
stupid.
sentimental to you.
But it's still like it's like an enjoyable movie experience. Like
It's funny because like it's still
it's
funny as shit.
entertaining.
You're
like,
like,
I'm
how does he
entertained.
do that?
Yeah,
Like
But
that would
about-
never happen.
What about you, Pope?
Yeah.
I thought I was going high with the 7.
Oh shit! Oh,
Yeah,
man,
but
that's-
I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
liked
a
it a
good
lot,
movie.
but I
Great movie.
I was gonna go high with the 7. I can't, change it now. Do you think
Yeah.
they're 8? But yeah, I mean, I do enjoy it. It was good. It's nostalgic as fuck.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Reminds me of my childhood. I used to love those movies as a kid. I remember, I think it was the second movie in Kickback. They had this little fucking handshake that they did. My brother and I loved that shit so much that we literally practiced it,
That's what's up.
and we did it. And in his room, I remember that when we were kids.
We gotta do the next
practiced that
sequels.
fucking
We gotta do
handshake.
sequels. We gotta do
Yeah.
That
sequels.
thing was awesome.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
fucking
7.
love
You're
it.
going 7. Yeah.
Huh?
7.
Yeah, 7. The
7
best
and a half,
movie so
7.
far.
So,
And this was,
average about 7.5.
and the director was the same dude that did the fucking Meg, 2018 Meg.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Back to back.
And we just did a 2.
Turtle-
Now it
Turtle-
was a fucking 2.
Turtle
Turtletov. Yeah, John
Turtletov.
Turtletov.
That's
My
sick.
God, this damn. you
This
did
movie's
fucking
better than the Meg.
92. Way
This movie's
fucking
better
than
than
fucking
the Meg, and it's
way
been
better
what?
than fucking Meg.
26 years since
But
that
yeah.
movie came out, and that movie's still better than the movie that just came out
God,
last
but yeah,
week.
movie, oh my God, I laughed.
Especially
so
if
fucking
he was the one that hired the surfer dudes.
hard. Yeah,
then
well, I wonder who the
he-
casting was. Yeah.
because they deserve
Yeah.
the most credit.
Turtle
because those
Turtle
guys were
Time.
the
You
best.
made a better
You could
movie.
prob- they
26
could have
years
made
ago.
like a movie on their own of just those surfer dudes doing their
For
fucking
sure.
mercenary shit or whatever the hell they were doing.
Turtle
Fucking
Time needs to
awesome.
make a movie about them.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah,
better than
where are they
Meg.
now?
That's
Better
the
than
next
Meg.
movie, John Turtle Tiny.
Meg sucked. This movie is great. 26 years
Like I want to
before.
see.
I know
I
you're
want to
listening
see
to this,
everything.
John
Go
up,
back to
Tiny.
that.
It's everything up until they're at the convenience store when we meet them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like that whole
Before
scenario.
they have a horse.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking
Let's be
great.
like, fuck it, dude.
it would be a short
Let's go
movie.
rob the store. Let's do it. Yeah.
That'd be great.
You just cut all their bits out and just make it in short, into a short film.
Oh, like with just them?
Yeah.
That'd be funny as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
But alright, should we get the fuck out of here then?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
fucking
balls
that's
in here.
what did we just
Yes,
watch? Fucking hit us up.
what
What
the
did we
fuck
just
did I just
watch?
Email
Yahoo,
us.
whatever.
Yeah, email us.
You guys can't fight.
No, I
Listen,
shouldn't.
because you're
Suggestions,
soft.
Talk
comments,
shit. Talk
Leave us
shit.
suggestions.
talk shit. That talk shit was welcome.
Yeah.
If there's no talking
Give us
shit.
some good movies. Maybe you think
Yeah.
that'd be great for us to review.
Yeah, eventually when
But
there's enough
horrible
talking
movies.
shit, maybe you can start fucking revealing it, and that'd be fun.
Yeah. Alright.
You guys are all pussies.
You
can't
can't fucking
fight.
fight.
I hate everyone.
Can't
Peace. What did we
Especially
just
these two.
watch?
Fuck you guys.
Till
Best
next
movie ever.
time.
Yeah, but.